Namaste! Grand Rising, Big Cat. Welcome back to Frequency Phoenix 555 for your message or messages. Come in! Come on! I've got intel. Recon is afoot. May your comings and goings be forever covered by the grace of the Most High. When in doubt, go within. Namaste, Grand Rising. Big Cat Wave, Athena. Glad you could pop in, darling dears. Because we've got to talk about a thing or two, darling dears. They're attention-seeking hoes. Yes, hoes. And not the ones you use in the garden. But your ancestors. They're delivering the spiritual memo. Their performance was loud. But their karma is going to be louder. Remember, I told you that. They chased the applause. Winning over those flying monkeys, darling dears. But they didn't expect that Saturn, which is currently retrograde in Pisces, is going to what? Deepen the karmic reckoning and the spiritual restructuring. The receipts are in. The new moon in Virgo, it's not gonna just clap, darling dears. It's the wiki dubplate remix that delivers. You've got Uranus, which isn't chaos. It's exposure. Every mask cracks under divine timing. And the Most High, Father God, Mother Isis, does not make mistakes. Legacy doesn't audition. It's the rules.com. Let's dive right in and unpack. We're going to lead with the dice today, darling dears. We also have planetary energies, okay? The planetary energies is real-time planetary transits that is tied to this particular day. It could represent a person, a place, a platform, or a power structure impacting your karmic storyline. We have the letter N, could be Navara, a cycle reset, hidden truth surfacing. We have the letter V, vital signs, purity, refinement, daily patterns. U, upheaval, union, a shock, rebellion, exposure. S, which is structure, which is discipline, restriction and karmic debt, darling. There's someone's paying a debt. Remember, I told you that. And we have the P. P is a panel, illusions, judgment, and spiritual testing. They are being tested, darling dears. You have the energy of a 6. The energy of the 6, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. According to the Loshu grid, okay, it represents helpful people. People are going to be put on your path, darling dears, either to guide you, or they're coming with information that you can what? Assimilate. Yes, baby, you're getting intel, darling dears. People being put on your path. It also speaks about what your spiritual life. You are being covered. Never forget, you was always covered by grace. Why do you think you had the hardest battles to fight? Some of them weren't just physical and financial, darling dears. They were deep set in your mind. You had to overcome the dysfunction of your family, darling dears. The families that you were born into. The families that you created. And I know most of you have already written your lists for next year, 2026, that you don't want to be the strongest soldier. Listen, I tried it. It don't work. It just switches up the fire. Why? Because you've obviously shown that you can handle it, darling dears. Okay. The energy of the 6, according to the 48 laws of power, is what? At this moment in time, you are caught in attention. Okay? It's not costing you, it's costing they, them, and I told you, they are under what? Spiritual law. Let's ring the bell to send all of that bad juju back to them. That's why they got rid of the bells, darling, is because of the high frequencies. Don't just take my word, always do your research. Let's carry on. Let's carry on, darling dears. So yeah, you are caught in attention whether you like it or not. You are being seen, darling dears. Your words are being heard and remembered. Why? Because they can't replace what is in you. They're trying to what? Do the old switcheroo, darling dears, coming out with your quotes, how you are moving, right? But they don't even understand everything is what? Intricately divinely guided to you. Everything was in your birth natal chart, your blueprint. Okay, the energy of the 6, darling dears, you could be a life path 6 or a 33. You are embodying this energy at this moment in time. It also representative of the letters F, O, and X, along with the letters N, V, U, S, P from the helpful initials, and it's ruled by Venus. Venus rules the letters U, V, and W, which rules Taurus and Libra. Taurus is your self-worth, darling dears. It's about your money, your possessions. It also tells me a lot of hidden enemies, darling dears. You was always surrounded by enemies, but you had to learn discernment. You had to learn boundaries. Why? Because they're jelly of your hidden talents. Talents that you only dared show a portion. Why? Because they tried to beat you down, but they didn't know that you was the stone that the builder was refusing. Let's move on, darling dears. Let's move on. The energy of Venus, darling dears, tells me that you are a natural nurturer and healer. They didn't understand your level of humor. Why? Because it was more what? A mirror to what was going on, darling dears. You are their mirror. And that's a very bitter pill to swallow, darling dears. To actually what? Leave circumstances and situations and your words, which is their mirror. They have to live with it, darling dears. Because you see, when disrespect is being served, you have to what? Minus the big cat, darling dears. Always. It's not going to be easy, but you have to remember you have one life on this Malkuth, and you have a purpose and you have a plan, and you have to complete this mission. When the time is right, divine will open up the floodgates of your true divinely soul tribe to step in. But you have to what? Continue raising your vibration by not what? Tussling with these dickheads, darling, these attention hoes. Your luckiest days will be Thursday, Friday, and Sunday. Your luckiest numbers will be the 3, 6, and 9. Come through with what? Tesla, the key to the universe. Posh, clap. It's supported by a sextile, which is harmonious. Harmonious relationships are coming towards you. The energy of Venus is again about your self-worth, knowing your worth and adding tax, darling dears. Venus also comes with what? Beauty. You may be doing something in the beauty field, or some form of, you're creating something which is creating a lot of attraction. It's also going to create a lot of luck. Right? You are holding what? The personal magnetism. And what that comes with everything, darling dears. Abundance comes in many forms, which I tell you very often and on a regular basis. The energy of Venus, darling dears, it also speaks about what? A level of bounty is going to be bestowed on you, darling dears. Venus rules your neck, your face, and your lips, your lungs and your nose. Again, the health factor is going to be what's shown to you at this moment in time. Look at your health in this situation. Okay. Venus also rules, as I said, it rules the second house, which is the gates of Hades, darling. There's death and transformation. Okay, as I said, the second house governs your wealth, your debts, darling. There's losses as well as death. Somebody's going to be approaching death at this moment in time. But I'm feeling some kind of loneliness around this death. Venus also rules the seventh house, as I said, Libra energy, darling dears. So this is also called the set in place. Again, your partnerships, your one-to-one relationships. Many people are going to be cutting spiritual contracts at this moment in time, as well as what? Cutting physical contracts at this moment in time. The second and the seventh house also points to what? The enemies. They're all open enemies, darling dears. So you must deal with them accordingly. I've told you many things that you can use as part of your artillery. The Chinese zodiac, everybody likes to brag about that. That's where you pick up the intel, darling dears. Trust and believe. You are being protected by your security team, your ancestors, darling dears, but you must also protect yourself. Wisdom is for the wise. And remember, let no one spinneth the blocketh on you. Timothy 3:6, fist bump. Let's carry on, let's carry on. Okay, the energy of the three, darling dears, again, this is about a lot of gossip. Okay, according to the dice, there's a lot of gossip, a lot of slander. Jeremiah 9:4, they're on the balls of their feet, darling dears, coming out of their mud huts. It speaks about a lot of communication. Why? Because they're feeling the energy. Something significant in your life is about to change. Divine is advising you to be diplomatic at this moment in time. The energy of the 6, according to the 3, darling, there's again, it's a caution about your health. You're going to be making health visits, whether to a medical center, doctors, could also be a dentist, or some kind of natural, could be acupuncture. But this is again a reminder of what? Take care of your health. Your health is your wealth. Without your health, you have nothing, darling dears. And it's never too late to pay attention to your health. Okay. Shall we press on? We will press on. The energy of the 6, as I said, it tells me you're a nurturer, you're a natural healer. And again, it's a reminder for you to take care of yourself, put yourself first and foremost. You can't even take care of progeny if you are not taking care of yourself. And that includes your mental health, darling dears. Because they would love to have you out there with a reverse Friar Tuck. Looking like a what? A whole Quasimodo out there in them streets, darling, just barking at passing cars. You have the element of the 1. You're going to have to make a major decision. But Divine is cautioning you not to make that decision until after the next new moon. As I've already said, the next new moon will be in Virgo. I've already put up that reading. Go and see what house it's falling in for you, darling dears. Look for your rising sign, then your sun and your moon. Never forget the moon, because it will F up your rising sign and everything else that you've got going on. Pay attention to all 3. And again, we're seeing the energy of the 6. Pay attention to your health. 2 6s, darling dears. Lean in, bestie. Lean in. 2 6s on the tableau speaks about the contradictions, the lies, the subterfuge, bull swanky that's been what put down on your name. But they're about to get what? The receipts. The receipts are in. Karmic lessons are going to be taught for a lifetime. Yes, baby. Your ancestral team are coming through with what? The hockey sticks at dawn, darling dears. And they don't play. Let's press on. Let's press on. Nathaniel, I see you. Carla, big, was it? Fist bump. I nearly said big fist. I don't mean that. All right. Let's get some emotions around this situation. What's going on? They feel like shit, darling dears. Not the solid kind, darling dears, the loose kind, the one that's brainless. Yeah, but at the end of the day, all of what they're doing, darling dears, is projection. This is why Divine put you under protection. Why? Because you was being attacked for no good reason, darling dears. You was being attacked for your light. Something that's in you, not on you. They should feel like that. They should. Oh gosh, and they're doing all sorts of things to cope, darling dears. Gaslighting themselves, gaslighting others. Yes, some are on the drugs, some are on the juice, darling dears. Maybe of the sexual persuasion, doing everything to cope. But you can't run away from yourself. Why? Because you've removed yourself and you left them with the mirror. Forced them into a corner. They're panicking, darling dears, and exposing themselves. Why? You didn't settle for a half victory. You decided to what? Kick over all of the pieces on their particular checkerboard. You had to earn the crown of Khaleesi or Khal. Pinkies up. Yeah. Some of them had you bound, darling dears. A love spell could be a sexual spell, darling dears. Maybe you had to cut off that supply in order to get it right in your mind. Look, I can't make it up. Hey, you are the mirror for them, darling dears. I repeat, cannot make it up. You are their mirror. They fighting with themselves, darling dears. Law 16 of the 48 laws of power. When disrespect is being served, you must what? Dust off your sandals and head out. Get your respect through your absence. And it's not a play. You mean it. The fakeozoids are busy, darling dears. Busy trying to co-create, darling dears. Busy trying to give you the tongue lashing that they couldn't dare give you to your face. And if they do, it's just projection. They're talking about themselves. Okay, let's press on. Let me get some other cards. We're going to go with my FP555 Oracle deck. I've got 2 decks and I've put them together because who gonna check me boo? Alright, let's give it a good shufty. Tell us some more intel. Who wants to know? Fell off the back end, darling dears. Yes, from the ashes, baby. The energy of the 13 goes down to the energy of the 4. Manifestation mode, darling dears. This tells me that you are building a stable foundation. But the energy of the 4, this is a situation that you're in that you will always have to work hard for your blessings. Why? Because I already told you at the top of the read, you're the strongest soldier, whether you like it or not. You can't say, tag you're it. And remember, we don't have volunteers to go through being the strongest soldier. Because if you have a volunteer, send them to me, darling dears. I pay good Skrilla for that. Remember, I told you that. Yeah, a volunteer. You will work hard for what you want, darling dears. But this is where your pride lies. You work by the sweat of your proverbial or actual balls. Remember, I told you that. On the base of the deck, darling dears, you was dealing with dick dealers and mattress back, darling dears. Low vibing. I told you they come from mud huts. And you're like, what's a mud hut? A mud hut? A mud hut, right? Look at Diddy's house or houses. When all of that shiznai is going down in it, darling dears, it's a mud hut. 2 streets over from the loser lane in the district of the damned, darling dears. The damned. Tell me something else. They're coping, darling dears, but it's not working. You can only get so high. You can only get so drunk. But you see, the thing is, right, their coping mechanism is projection. So they're projecting all of that onto the people around them. They're a ticking time bomb. And Saturn retrograde in Pisces don't play. And this new moon, wiki, dub plate remix. Remember, I told you that. Tell me something else. A reminder to keep your pinkies up. Why? Because they're on the fucking edge, blood. And did we not just speak about what? The energy of 6, Venus energy, and the life path 33, the master teacher teaching spiritual lessons, darling dears. Yeah, they're going to be taught these spiritual lessons because all they're doing is giving what? Plagiarism of the mind, the feeble-minded, the dummy bats, darling dears. And what's going on? Because they're a bottom feeder, right? A skullduggerous energy vampire, to be exact. And whenever we see the 5 and the 2, or the 2 and the 5, somebody on a public arena is about to go down, Bobby Brown. This is going to be big, darling dears. Remember, Saturn is retrograding in Pisces, and we've got the Virgo new moon. Someone in public is going down, Bobby Brown, darling dears. We have the letters of NVUSP, the letters, oh my gosh, what's the rest of the case? F, O, and X, and U, V, and W. Remember, I told you that. And they're going to go down, the luckiest days are going to be a Thursday, a Friday, or a Sunday. Look out for it, darling dears. Bottom feeders, right? But Divine is gifting you choices. Use that discernment, darling dears. This goes to a life path 11. Your intuition, darling dears. You're highly intuitive, but you was nurturing the wrong people. This is why Divine is putting you in a position where you must always nurture yourself. Let's go with the blue. Law number 40 of the 48 laws of power, darling dears. No free lunch. Nothing is truly free, darling dears. Not everyone is allowed to what? Sit at your table. Sometimes you have to remember you must always remember what they did, darling dears. But remember, they chose to do these things towards you. They wasn't asleep. They knew what was going on. And everything they've done is plagiarism of the mind against you. Again on the 11. What else do we have? Because you keep bossing up and they can't take it. It's like an eternal wedgie for them, darling dears. When you move in silence and people don't know what your next move is, darling dears, they will always be reaching out to try and find out this and find out that. Let them. Because every way they try to twist you up or scupper what you've got going on to put you back on the rocks of life. Remember, your ancestral team is delivering the receipts under this Saturn retrograde in Pisces and with the Virgo new moon. Know this. As your what? Big Cat Chronicles continues. Yeah, it's a kind of a na 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 na. Quietly, because we move in silence, right? What did I just say? Slander is afoot. It's afoot. Because that's how they cope. Trust and believe your name is being drugged. They call you everything but a child of God. But remember, Mother Isis is covering you, the goddess of 10,000 names. Base of the deck. Law number 10. Avoid the unlucky and the unhappy. Why? Where's my shiznai? Right? Because it will put you at point A and point B. Right? Point A and point B. Dummy bat territory, darling dears. Dummy bat territory. Avoid them. Discernment. Right? These people ain't scared of nothing, darling dears, but they will be. Bottom feeders are going down. Right, let's get to the decks. Let's get to the decks. Let me get one that I haven't used in a very long time. Okay. On the base of the deck, darling dears, they missing you. Yeah, someone's walking down memory lane, that dark path where they can't even trust their own shadow. After dark, darling dears. Would love to return to a situation where you are the underling, where you are getting it without the Vaseline. They want you back on the rocks of life. Let's face it, darling dears. They haven't forgotten you. But it comes through with what? The energy of the 6. The energy of the 6. Venus energy, darling dears. Know your worth and add tax. There is nothing that you need to revisit in this situation unless you want to share in what they've got going on, which is not fun. It's not fabulous. It's not fabulous, gorgeous, and lovely, darling dears. This particular circumstance and situation, I hate it. I do not love it. Let the record show. Outrageous, darling dears. Just because they're feeling fluffy and warm. The cups is emotional cups, darling dears. Okay? This is 6. This is over emotion that you was pouring into situations that divine has what made you let go. Saturn in Pisces is the 12th house, darling dears. Letting go of these secret enemies. Letting go of family secrets, darling dears. You are the biggest blabbermouth. Why? Because you're their mirror. And everything that's gone on in the 12th house, darling dears, is coming on top. The 12th house is also the escapism, the coping that they're doing, right? The 12th house is also the house of what? Death, darling dears. I told you, somebody is about to pass. The 12th house also speaks about prison, mental health. They affected your mental health. We know this, but a karmic debt is being paid. We are in the 12th house, whether we like it or not. But this is your time, darling dears, to what? Realize that everything was nothing but what? An assassination on your character. But they can't take away your light. The 12th house is also a rebirth house, darling dears. Some of you have a lot of anxiety. The 12th house is the house of mystics. As they're being paid in kind for what they did to you, darling dears, the ripple effect is what you're going to get is going to take you into your old age. Why? Because you are getting healing and closure. It doesn't matter what they want to revisit, darling dears. You have to be open for it. Let's give it a good shufti. See what else I go on. They're not loving your Lazarus. That's their business, darling dears. Remember to stay silent. They're nothing but what? T-Rex arms with their trippy-talker ways. Don't let them trip you up or catch you sleeping. Why? Because I tell you always, don't get smoked or smoke yourself. Fist bump. Right. Let's press on. Let's press on. What's being exposed as their mask drops? Okay. Jesus. They're fighting amongst themselves, darling dears. The Page of Swords also represents what the mirror. Truth is being exposed, darling dears, and they can't take it. They're fighting with themselves. They're fighting with people around them. They're using all of their coping skills, darling dears, and they're feeling like what? A pile of runny shit. Right? And here you are, blocked, darling dears, standing on business. It also speaks about them not being able to what? Mirror back anything to you. Remember, I told you that. You left them with their mirror, right? And you went forth to multiply. It also speaks about your ships coming towards you, darling dears. This goes to 9 of Wands. It also speaks about the spiritual attack you was under. This was full-on warfare. Let me get the tiny cards. Where are they? They're hiding. So they're fighting amongst themselves. They're not loving the mirror that they have. Tell us some more. Tell us more. Hold on, let me give it a good shufty. Cards are being a bit rambunctious at this moment in time. Somebody's displaced at this moment in time, or they're not settled where they're sitting. It also speaks about their health is going down, Bobby Brown. Somebody's facing some kind of health situation, darling dears. Next to the 7 of Wands, it could also speak about imprisonment, a tag, being blocked in a situation, darling dears. You are outside of the loop. You're not in this situation. It's also a loss of money in a it's not working out fabulous, darling dears. This is not the position to be in, right? Somebody's also realizing that they should have invested in you because you was the truth. A spiritual warrior, darling dears. This could have been a love situation. Look at the nurturing that you brought to the situation. You was loyal to a fault. Hey, hey! Woo, child. They wish they could find another you, darling dears. Tell me something else about this treachery. Queen of Wands on the Wands, darling dears. This is a gossip. Somebody's jealous. It could be a female. It could be a Mitch bitch or a bitch Mitch, darling dears. But they ain't got no money. Oh my God. When we see 2 queens appear, darling dears, I told you, their health is not their wealth, darling dears. This could be mental health, physical health, something to do with a job. Somebody's about to lose a situation, a job, something that they've been involved in for some time, darling dears. But they're worth nothing, darling dears. I told you. 9 of Cups in the reverse, darling dears. Emotionally drinking too much, lying too much, darling dears. This is somebody who is a full-on avoidant. Avoidance, meaning more than one. This person wasn't, how can I put it? This person was extremely stupid. They're a dummy bat, darling dears. They're living on what? Self-hatred. But as I said, everything is projection, and they're projecting it out on everyone around them. It's showing in their work. It's affecting their health. Their money's not good. The money's funny, guys. The money is funny. Somebody's also looking for a handout at this moment in time. Give them nothing. These are all the cups turned over. You've got nothing to give the public. Remember, I told you that. Don't help them out of the situation that they created. Tell me something more about this situation. We've got a King of Wands and a Queen of Wands. There's a fated meeting going on here, darling dears. King and Queen of Wands. This is someone who's futuristic, darling dears. Someone who's highly spiritual. Tell me about this fated meeting. Let me get another deck. Tell me something about this fated meeting. It's a good shufti. The King and Queen of Wands. This is a match, darling dears. And this is going to be a spontaneous meeting. You're not going to meet. You're not planning to meet them. You're not looking to meet this person. This is part of a soul tribe, darling dears. Whether it's for a partnership, a friendship, or a business partner, because the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands, futuristic thinking, highly spiritual, nurturing. They may even have a spiritual practice. But it's these, both of them are leaders in their own field, darling dears. This is about the energy working together. Tell me something about this fated meeting. Fell off the back end, darling dears. You get the Sun card. It's go, 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 Power Rangers. Yeah, this is a blessed and guided meeting that's coming towards you. Yeah, after all what you went through, listen, you've been working by the strength of your proverbial balls. Never you forget that, darling dears, to clear and do all of the shadow work, right? And this is most definitely coming in. Remember, I told you that. It's all cups around the Sun, darling dears. The Sun card is Big Cat Leo energy, the 5th house of romance and dating. But it also speaks about the uniqueness of this partnership that is coming towards you. This is you traveling with this person. If you're of childbearing age, there will be a child. Possibly even twins in this situation, darling dears. Because on this particular Sun deck, we've got 2 children. Usually on the Rider-Waite, on most decks, it's just 1 child on the picture. Right, what else do we need to know about this situation? This is your judgment, darling dears. You're about to be paid in kind, and again, somebody would like to have one more round Julie with your hairline. They want to come through and give you the hopium. What does Divine say about the hopium? You better balance out that shit. All this major arcana on the King and Queen of Wands. Divine has a hand in your life, darling dears. You are being sent someone. The energy according to the low shoe grid, the energy of the 6 helpful people along your path. Remember, I told you that. But it also is a reminder that this person is going to be like, how can I put it? They may be aware of you, or when they become aware of you, darling dears, they're going to admire you at first. But they're not going to determine what type of person you are by what they're admiring. This person is going to be what? Tempted to make contact, darling dears. Why? King of Swords. They're going to be straightforward, darling dears. This is a protector and a guide. Now that we've gone through the lovey-dovey side, let's press on, darling dears. Let's press on. Nothing like a good fated meeting, darling dears, with the Knight of Cups. Let's press on. Let's press on. Right. So they're fighting amongst themselves, with each other. You left them with the mirror. They don't like it. Well, that's their business. They're going to have to learn to love it. Learn to function up in that bitch. Remember, I told you that. Right. So the cracks, we already know their health is affected, darling dears. The money's funny. There's a lot of gossiping, a lot of backwards and forwards chat, darling dears. Yeah, they can't hold the foundation, darling dears. It's crumbling under their feet. Good golly. And the gosh, darling dears, somebody's about to be evicted from their mud hut, right? Moon energy, backstabbing energy, darling dears. And it also speaks about not paying what is due. You must give unto Caesar what is due unto Caesar. The energy of the moon also speaks about you being stabbed in your back, darling dears. Death card in the reverse. They want, some people even try to what? Destiny swap with you. This is why you went through so many battles. You fully understand how people can destiny swap with you, darling dears. And you have to also always remember, life or death is in the power of the tongue. Be careful what you tell people, even your closest person, darling dears. Some things you must keep back for yourself. This was a destiny swap, darling dears. And it also speaks about when this person or people around you, they stole your light, your energy, you also experienced displacement in a situation. There's a lot of lies being told on you at this moment in time, darling dears. But the lies are why? Because they're coping. That's their mechanism, darling dears. They wish they could come back into your circumstance and situation, but the death card is in reverse. There is no rebirth of this situation. As I said, the phoenix never returns to the ashes, baby. What does the tiny cards have to say? Let me get another deck. What does the tiny cards got to say about this shiz naive? Right? Because these are dark cards, darling dears. Moon energy is Cancer energy, darling dears, the 4th house. Okay? This person or people are going through karmic lessons, darling dears, because they was always in secret competition with you. Destiny swapping, darling dears. And remember, it can be more than one person that is draining you and trying to swap your destiny, darling dears. especially when you're open, when you don't know how to protect yourself. Tell me something more about the skullduggeress. They're lying heifers, darling dears. You may even have progeny involved in a situation, darling dears. And we've also got what? The Page of Pentacles. Could be two progenies involved in a situation. This speaks about them missing certain opportunities in life because of the situation that they've created for themselves, darling dears. The Page of Cups, as I said, is a liar. This person or people are highly intuitive, but they use it to what? Manipulate others. Base of the deck, right? We've got the Knight of Swords, the Truth Roof, Pinkies up. Lots of manipulation in a situation, darling dears, in a situation that is dead in the water. Will they dare try and approach the big cat again? Will they dare to try and approach you again? Queen of Cups, darling dears. Yes, she will. He or she will try and approach you again, darling dears. They will try and approach you again. But you must remember, you're the Queen of fucking Swords, yeah? You have the memory of the elephant. The same elephant that murked that lady twice. Killed her at the water well, then pulled her body off the pyre and murked her in front of her family members for the second time, right? Traumatized them all, right? Sat there for a long time, then called its brethren in, went over to the lady's house, and broke down only her house, no one else's. That's major beef, darling dears. You are the Queen of Swords. She can represent somebody who's divorced, darling dears, somebody who's maybe not even having children, but it also speaks about you being awake and aware of the lies being told. Remember, we are operating what Mel Robbins have told us. Mel Robbins is telling us what you must do when you feel this anger rise. You must look out the window and say, let them. Take a deep breath and say, let me. You have to always remember to breathe in a situation, darling dears. Breathe. Why? They want you to go past the perspiration straight into the sweat. And a big cat don't sweat, darling dears. Why? Because you are prototype. You are Ibex by birth. You are the Queen of fucking Swords, right? And you have Judgment, two different decks on your side. Your boundaries were necessary and they must always, always be protected, darling dears. From these double-minded dickheads, dummy bats, who are getting what? Karmic debt paid back in kind. Did I shock you? Yes, I have more than one mini deck. I like to keep things on the wraps, you know? Okay, let's press on. Let's press on, darling dears. Final card. What should we talk about? So as your crown rises, as your Big Cat Chronicles continues, what crown is about to lose its light? The beggars, darling dears. The people that left you out in the cold are now out in said cold, darling dears. We have what? The Three of Wands. Your destiny has been returned to you, darling dears. What they try to drain off you, these energy vampires, darling dears. Everything that you thought thunk was lost. Your ancestors are coming through with the receipts. Right? Dog. Every lie that was told, Page of Cups, is going to be reversed, darling dears. Yes. Everything that they put in to weaponize you. Every what is it called? Obstacle put on your path, darling dears, is going to crash under the lies they told. And Divine is still giving you the Ace of Pentacles. This is a new beginning, new opportunities, new foundations, new structure, new learning. Take the time every day to learn something new. Knowledge is key. It's king. Especially in the times that we are in, darling dears. Go back and watch my Aquarius reading, darling dears. Pluto in Aquarius. Because it's in that house for the next 19 years. All of the tools are there. Yeah, every principality is coming down. And again, 2 progeny here, darling dears. You may have a progeny that still has some kind of like or care in a situation, darling dears. They would like to be successful. Is that the one that's going to try and come back through? Yeah, but you ain't the same person that they left behind. You've given back the wood. You've given back the wood. Okay? You're not sacrificing to the devil's playground with this foolishness, darling dears. Remember, those boundaries was there for a reason. It could be a child or someone who is child-minded, darling dears. Someone who's living in laxity, darling dears. Emperor energy, you was always the light. Whatever they tried to take is being reversed. Remember, I told you that. King of Wands, again, darling, there's 2 different decks. King of Wands and the Ace of Cups, it had to be shown to you. The love in your heart is going to go on because you must leave this situation. Do not go back. But it's also a reminder, a spiritual reminder, to pay attention to whom's coming towards you. Not everybody's going to be of the light. You do have a fated meeting there on the table, darling dears. And it's not something that you have to go and seek. It will find you. Why? You spent the time to raise your vibration. There's going to come a time where they're going to have to hold their tongue. They're going to be afraid to mention your name. Every time they mention your name, catastrophe will follow them. Proverbs 10:19. And remember, a fool's lips always invite a beating. Proverbs 18:6. But don't beat them, darling dears. Give it to the Most High. Give it to your ancestral team, your security. Call them at any time. Doesn't matter what they try to manipulate with the situation. Right about now, you know what's going on. Hangman, what's that? The 12th house. People that want to draw you back into mental illness. Put you in what? Cognitive dissonance, darling dears. You don't know what's going on. Make you wear the what? Reverse friar tuck, darling dears, as they get their one more round jewelry with your hairline. Remember, my hairline comes first, darling dears. It's very important to me. As I sip my mocha, because I ain't getting smoked. Some harsh lessons that you are learning under Saturn in Pisces, darling dears. And it's going to stay effing around there until Saturn changes sign into Aries on the 14th of February 2026. When these closures come, darling dears, do not, I repeat, let me ring my bell of mercy. They ended for a reason. Whatever that situation or circumstance was, it ended for a reason. Remember what I said. Let them take a deep breath, look out the window. Let me. Don't allow them to take you to your stress threshold. Remember your blood pressure. They're blood pressure making people, darling dears. And their crisis is not your emergency ever again. Let me pull one more card. Release the burdens. I can't make this up. Release it. Right? Whenever we see the Ten of Wands, it's like, you put it down, dear. It's not for you. Right? You're not going to go amongst those people that are stuck and stagnant in their life. These people don't have no confidence in you, right? And as you release the burden, they can't sleep at night. At night is the playground for your ancestors, so they can have a look at what they did. Just because you don't hear it doesn't mean it's not going on, darling dears. They never created no form of stable foundation for you. None. Destabilized your money, your health, right? And in some cases, your health is your panani or your fatum. They compromise that shit, darling dears, by bringing you into thruples, right? Didn't I just say, dick dealing and mattress backing? A lot of that was going on. Let's look at the innermost of the dice, darling dears. You've got the double 4, the energy of the foundation. As I said, the energy of the 4 is security. Right, we already spoke about the 4 within this read. Whenever it comes up, darling dears, it tells me that you are a planner. And divine is going to bring divine order into your life. But you have to embrace the energy of Saturn in Pisces. Retrograde, blood. This is the season where you will see the Judases and the Peters. This is the season to see whether you will hold the line or fold. This is the season where you are setting the template, right? Because Saturn cycles are 29 years. We are approaching the ending of the Saturn cycle around our natal chart. You are setting the season for 29 years. Bestie, take me on that. Not necessarily take me on, go and research it. When Saturn changes signs and goes into Aries, darling dears, it's all go. Saturn comes with the rules and the regulations. You want to go into this new cycle from the 20th to the 14th of February 2026. You want to go in there clean. Whatever Saturn has removed, whether it's people, places, or things, money, time, whatever, let it go, because you will be rewarded. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, darling dears. Pick up some of the channel merch, or head over to Amazon. Pick up my books, darling dears. The Phoenix Accountability Series or the Chrono Code. If you'd like a personal read, hit me up in the Gmails at 1bigcatchronicles@gmail.com. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Big cat wave. Until we meet again on these tarot streets. Cat, cat. Cat, cat. Divine has put you back together differently, darling dears.